Hi, everyone, and this is Diana. I'm going to be speaking to you today about Bright Knowledge Harp Circle. And yeah, it's great to see you're all coming in. You can put your comments in and I will answer them live. You can also put your comments in later and I will answer them later. So I've been getting a lot of questions about what is Bright Knowledge Harp Circle. So I'd like to tell you a little bit about how I came to create it. So Bright Knowledge Harp Circle is a membership program. So we're an ongoing program. We have our dear members in there working through our program. It's not a course, as in you come in and you need to try and finish stuff at a certain fixed period of time. Rather, it's a whole community, it's a whole ethos, it's a whole system that I'll be teaching you about today a little bit. So in terms of how I came across Bright Knowledge, well, when I finished my PhD, my next big project was, how do I tackle the practice problem? I was hearing that everybody, from students to professionals, were having a huge amount of trouble with their practice, staying motivated in their practice, getting results in their practice. And it really didn't matter if it was a total beginner or if it was a pro. People were having an issue across the board, but people weren't really talking. Hey there, Sorsha. People weren't really talking about this openly. I felt like it was almost the dirty little secret of the music community that people don't like to practice. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to find out what the problem is, because there are other cultures where practice is a natural part of life. I'm thinking about Indian classical music. I'm thinking about Arabic classical music. And there isn't this element of strife around practice, and there isn't this sorrow around no results. So I set about tackling this problem, formidable problem, I will admit. And what I came upon was, we really have to combine the head and the heart for this to work. So what that means is, we build our skill. Yes, we learn about theory, we learn about technique, we learn about the very practical matters of music making. There's also the whole heart side that has to be addressed. And the heart side actually has to lead. The more that I do this, the more I find the heart is where it's at when it comes to your motivation, when it comes to your creativity. Connecting with your heart is what will discover your purpose for you. And once you've discovered your heart purpose, everything else starts falling into place. But if you don't know your heart purpose, what tends to happen is we lead from the head and we create these practice plans and we set these goals, and then a month down the road, they feel like a complete drag. There was actually nothing wrong with those goals, but we don't want to lead from them. We want to frame them instead from a very emotional place, from a spiritual place, I will come out and say, whatever your spirituality happens to look like for you. So in Bright Knowledge Harp Circle, we learn those very practical matters. We learn how to make a really good practice plan that's going to work. We learn how to make goals. This is where the heart starts coming in as well. We make goals completely from a heart-centered place. And what do we know what our heart wants? That's the purpose. That's defining our purpose, which is step one of the Bright Knowledge system. So guys, yeah, feel free to ask me any questions. I'm here live right now. And again, you can put questions later and I will come back and answer them for you. So yeah, I created the Bright Knowledge Harp Circle with the vision of bringing together the head and the heart so that everybody can practice and perform better. Another major way I found out about this system, because it is a system, is from my journey with performance anxiety. Many of you know that I had epic performance anxiety, so big I can hardly even talk about it because I get so emotional. It made me give up music for 4 years solid. And now I perform all the time and I can speak live to you and it's all fine. How did that happen? Did some miracle happen? No. It was actually through using this system that I came to define my purpose. And I'll tell you what my purpose is. I play music so that I come back to my truest self and therefore encourage others to do the same. Now, when I come from that place, all anxiety goes away because I feel on fire about that purpose. If my purpose instead is I really want to impress my audience members, I want to make sure I sell a whole bunch of CDs at my gig, anxiety starts rising. Those are nice to have, but those aren't your purpose. Your purpose is something much deeper, something much more heartfelt. And as I taught people how to work through performance anxiety, I found it was exactly the same process for learning to practice and perform better. It's no mystery. You know, we get on stage and we get nervous. Why? Because we haven't practiced and performed properly. Now, performance is also a type of practice. You can practice performing at home before you even get on stage. And that is critical. That is something that's so important. We tend to get on stage having maybe learned the song well, mastered the song, but we haven't practiced performance. You can practice performance at home. And in Bright Knowledge Harp Circle, we learn how. So yeah, the whole performance mastery course that I created, and it helped so many musicians. Now it's embedded in the Bright Knowledge Harp Circle because frankly, I don't have time to teach it as a separate entity. I want to spend time with my harp. I want to dedicate myself to the circle and also to Virtual Harp Summit. I really try to make my priorities very clear. So weaving performance mastery into the circle is just fabulous. I love doing that. So to put it really concisely, we focus on skill and magic. We believe in both. Oftentimes I notice people will focus on one or the other. Either they're all about technique, theory, learning, or else they're all about let the emotions flow, let's improvise. And when we bring the two together, we have an unbeatable combination. So before I go any further, let me just show you the website that you can go to find out a lot more about Bright Knowledge Harp Circle. You'll be able to also, hey there, Pelly. You'll also be able to hear from our members what their results have been. They've had absolutely amazing results. I'm so proud of them. And yeah, you'll be able to hear from the words yourself. And so Cheryl is saying, what exactly do you mean by magic? Thank you. That's such a great question. So to go back to skill and magic, skill is all the practicalities that you need. Learning how to form a really good practice plan, understanding how to actually learn. This is something that we learn in Bright Knowledge Harp Circle. We learn how to memorize and memorize properly because a huge amount of performance anxiety does come from actually not knowing the song. Now, when I talk about magic, what I mean is bringing in all your intuition, bringing in all your feeling, bringing in the magic spark that's in your life. So, for example, maybe you take great strength from your gardening. You are connected to nature, and that is the vibe that you bring into your harping. That's your magic that you're bringing in. Maybe your magic will be based on your spirituality. Whether it's Christianity, Judaism, Buddhism, whatever it happens to be, you're inserting that magic into your art. If we don't insert magic into our art, it is simply a craft. It is not transcendent art. And by transcendent, I do not mean complicated art or art that has 1,000 followers or anything like that. What I mean is music that moves you, that truly moves you and stays with you. So when I talk about magic, the magic is really bringing in your intuition, your emotions. How do we do that? There are ways to access it. There's a myth out there that the muse just randomly visits you. Inspiration just falls on your head. It's not true. You can actually set the stage so that your intuition will come through, that you will get inspiration. So we learn how to invite this type of magic, this type of inspiration, this type of spirit into our playing. So we have the skill. Oh yeah, I love the skill. Believe me, I'm just a theory junkie. But I'm also really into the other side of the coin, which is the magic, the intuition. And together, again, they create a complete artistry. So Sorsha is asking, I am curious, will I need any prior knowledge or practice of the harp before signing up? And also, I would love to take some private lessons. Yeah, great. I will definitely, I'll be able to talk to you about that, Sorsha. Yeah. You don't need prior knowledge of harp to sign up to the Harp Circle, but you would need a teacher for at least 3 to 4 lessons, one-on-one, to make sure your technique is correct. So this is where we talk about skill. Everybody's hand is different. And so it's really important for a teacher to be able to see how you're connecting with the harp, literally starting from ground zero, starting from how you're sitting at the harp, how you're bringing the harp back to you, and how you're addressing the harp with your hands. That can really only be done one-on-one. Doesn't mean you have to sign up for years of lessons, but I do recommend 3 to 4 lessons with a private teacher before joining Bright Knowledge Harp Circle if you're a total beginner. And Sorsha, I will write to you about private lessons as well, because I think you will be in the area, which is very cool. In terms of the cost of Bright Knowledge Harp Circle, it is $50 per month, or you can sign up for the whole year for $500, meaning you get 2 months free, if I have my math right, which I think I do. And you would also get a one-on-one call with me if you sign up for the annual membership. And you'll be able to see all of this on our website, which again is harpcircle.brightknowledgeguild.com. Bright Knowledge Guild is our big umbrella organization that houses Bright Knowledge Harp Circle, that houses Virtual Harp Summit, that many of you know about as well. And talking about Virtual Harp Summit, I think of Virtual Harp Summit as the raw material. We get a whole bunch of fascinating information from the deepest type of harpist I know, great artists. And we get about 40 hours of material. And then Bright Knowledge Harp Circle is the system that helps you work through that material so that you actually integrate it into your life and into your artistry. So again, Virtual Harp Summit is the information, and then Bright Knowledge Harp Circle is the system to apply everything with. And of course, anything you learn in Bright Knowledge Harp Circle, you have that for life. It's a system of learning really for life based on many classical principles, as well as the latest research regarding learning and creativity. So yeah, thank you for your question, Sorsha. I think I might have mentioned I have a niece called Sorsha as well. Such a beautiful name. Yeah. So let's talk about this idea of a system. When we're addressing music, it's a huge topic, right? Music is a million details, or so it seems. But when you have a system, what it does is it helps you navigate all those details. So it takes the complex down to the simple. And with the Bright Knowledge system, we walk 5 steps in a linear fashion, one by one. So our first step is to identify your purpose, because as I mentioned before, that's where everything flows from. Once we identify our purpose, which is always coming from a heart place, from a place of magic, then we have the ability to create goals that we're truly excited about, and goals that are truly ours, not other people's intentions for us, or what we think are other people's intentions for us. So we set our goals based on our purpose, and then we have these beautiful goals, motivating goals. And then we get really practical. We create our practice plans. That's step number 3. And then step number 4 is integration. This is where you basically throw the spaghetti on the wall and see what sticks. You try everything out on your practice plan and see what's actually working for you. This is where you learn to be your best teacher, because at the end of the day, you are your teacher. I may guide you, I may show you ideas, I may point you in certain directions, but I am not actually implanting information into your brain. It's you who does that. You are your own teacher. So during integration, you learn how to be your best teacher by discerning what's working, and then we amplify that. because that's your learning style, and then discerning what's not working. That's a two-pronged attack. We say, why is that not working? And we try and remedy it. If it's really not remediable, we let it go gently. It's not for us at this moment. We may revisit it, but it's not working at this moment. During integration, it's such a juicy time because we're using discernment to listen to our playing and to decide what's working and what isn't. We are not using judgment in terms of that's good and that's bad. Those are not helpful. Those are kind of showstoppers. That's good, that's bad. Instead, we discern and we say, what's working? Fabulous. That thing's working. We're going to do even more of it. That thing's not working. Let's address it. We either try to fix it or we let it go for now. All of that involves very little drama. So it takes all the pain out of practice. We're not sitting there feeling miserable or bad about ourselves. In fact, it's a journey. It's very dynamic. Practice becomes an exciting time. And this is what motivation is. This is what will truly motivate you to get behind your harp and play with it. And then finally, the last step is fulfillment. Now, fulfillment means you get to sit back and enjoy what you've done. You get to revel in your accomplishments. This is a very important step. It's one that we don't take in our society. We careen from goal to goal, burning ourselves out. And listen, I need to take my advice as much as anybody else. This year, I'm really focusing on fulfillment, where you look at what you've done and you're like, job well done. And you catalog the things that have gone so well for you. What this does is build up your whole well of joy, as well as your resilience. Your resilience for when you meet those inevitable hard times, when you're trying to drive to that gig and you're stuck in traffic and you're starting to get really stressed. You will be able to know that you have confidence to walk right in the door, set up your harp, cool as a cucumber, and play. It's going to be fine. If you are frazzled from going from goal, you will not have that kind of resilience. And the way to build resilience is through this fulfillment, this time that you take to take stock of what you've done, what you've achieved, and to feel great about it. When we simply achieve a goal, which is a great thing, we still need to be in that fulfillment state to round out the experience. Going from goal to goal is a surefire way to burnout eventually. So that's a system, 5 steps: purpose, goals, practice plans, integration, and fulfillment. And how we work through this system is every month we work on just one step. Now that may seem like, wow, I could probably figure out my purpose in a couple of days, That's not what people actually experience. They start getting into their purpose and then it starts really unfolding and they're like, oh, I want more time to work on my step. No problem. This is a self-paced program. So although we will go through each of the steps as a group just to give coherence, the fact is you can work entirely at your own pace. And I would say about 75% of our members are working at their own pace and also checking in regularly with our secret group. I'll talk about our community in just a second. They check in with our group for the support, for insight on the step that they're on. People are, it's very organic. So we have a system to give us structure and a framework, and it's a system that absolutely works, very, very flexible, and it works. Then we have a community to back it up. So I think I just saw a comment from Bonnie. Oh, there you are, Bonnie. Hey. Does this program work for those who are interested in creating or writing music, or is it more for learning songs and performance, or is it good for both? Definitely good for both, Bonnie. We have such creative harpists in our circle who are creating fascinating things. And then we have people who are also deeply into learning fixed repertoire We have quite a few harpists who are interested in healing harp. And so they're doing a combination of fixed repertoire, improvisation. So I would say it's definitely really good for both. Yeah. So in terms of community, as time has gone on, I have really been struck by the power of community for learning. The community experience really accelerates learning. Previously, I had really thought one-on-one was queen, and it is for certain things like technique. So Sorsha, that's why I said I do recommend one-on-one lessons, 3 or 4, before starting for technique. But when it comes to talking about things like your purpose, when it comes to hashing out your goals, having a community to bounce ideas off, having examples of other people sharing their experiences really accelerates your learning. You have so much more chance of looking at real life examples. You have so much more chance of support where you're like, I'm completely stuck. I mean, I really welcome it when people come into our group and they're like, I'm really stuck on this thing. You know, I'm like, great, we can roll up our sleeves and we can get to work. And then, of course, when things are not going so well, when things are a little bit difficult, having the support of a community versus festering on your own. I mean, what a change. So the community really helps you learn, and it helps you bypass a lot of the problems that we have, especially as harpists, solo instrument players. We tend to be a little bit isolated. Sometimes we're the only harper in town. And having a community has turned out to be one of the very most powerful things of our program. I had initially thought people would feel it would be a very nice to have feature. And I've come to find that it has become one of the most important parts of our program for them, for our dear members. So I'm in the secret Facebook group where we do all our community work. Secret groups actually can't be found online. They're not the same as private groups. So the only way you would find out about this group is if we directly bring you in. So it's very, very private, top level of privacy. And we have 2 amazing community managers in there as well. We have Jillian, who is a singer-songwriter, very interested in Celtic music, in Middle Eastern music. She also does a lot of early music and covers. So Bonnie, a very creative, kindred soul right there. And then we have Jocelyn, who is a healing harp expert. So she is on the National Standards Board of the Therapeutic Musicians. I hope I got that right. And she helps us with our therapeutic music wing. We actually, as the community evolved, so many harpists were interested in healing harp work that we have created an additional healing harp annex almost within our group. And Jocelyn heads that up because she works pretty much 7 days a week as a healing harpist. She runs a fleet of 35 harpists, I believe, out of Arizona. And she is hugely knowledgeable. Whereas although I've played a lot of healing harp, I am more of a composer, performer, teacher. So we have just a wonderful wide range as our community mentors. And as many of our members have become mentors as well. You know, they have been in the program. We started a year ago now, and they're really well versed in it, and they're helping each other. It's really an incredible community. So extremely private, because I know online stuff can be a bit freaky, you know, and a lot of us know each other from different communities as well. So everything that happens within the group is 100% confidential. That actually, as we come in, that's one of our few rules. We're not very rules based, but that is a rule. Anything that happens within the circle stays within the circle, because we're talking about very private things. We're talking about our hopes, our dreams, our successes, our failures. We need to know that will not go any further. We need to be able to talk candidly and be able to share from the heart. So the confidentiality is critical to our group, and we guard it pretty fiercely, I would say. Yeah. Yeah. So guys, yeah, any questions you have for me, let me know. I am live at this moment. And then of course, I will come back later and answer any comments that come after the show. So yeah, just speaking again about that mentorship piece. We have the system piece, we have the community piece, then we have the mentorship piece. As we mentor each other, we go deeper into our art. And our group is so creative. People are bringing in a lot of cross-training. So they will bring in, for instance, their artwork and share about how the process of creating visual art coincides with making music. And as we all get to teach each other and mentor each other, we learn on a deeper level as well. Certainly for myself, as I have taught for almost 25 years now, explaining things from the other person's point of view, trying to get into their mind and saying, okay, how are they going to understand the circle of fifths, say something like that. And doing that over and over has made it so much clearer to me. So as we have these mentorship opportunities within our circle, our learning goes deeper on all levels. Everybody wins. So again, to go back to our theme of skill and magic, we're all about creating the practical foundation, honoring technique, honoring the physical. One of the things we talk about, for example, is making sure that that you're eating in such a way that your health is being supported. A surprising number of harpists found that their practice was not going well because they were low blood sugar, or they were nervous because they were going into a performance and they hadn't eaten anything. We learn so much better when we eat. And I know that might sound off topic, but it's not. It is really part of skill. In order to be skillful, we want to be strong in our bodies. And so we find ways to foster that. And then, of course, we marry it all the time with the beautiful intuition, which, by the way, the body has its own intuition that it wants to bring out. So there's definitely a cross. This is a Venn diagram. These are not separate things, skill and magic. So again, if you want to hear more of the results of our members, you can visit our website right there, harpcircle.brightknowledgeguild.com, and you will hear from our members themselves about the results that they've gotten from being in our program. We only open twice a year for 1 week each time. So right now we're open. So right now is registration until the 23rd. And the reason that we have this very tiny window of opening is because we want to concentrate 100% on our members when they join. So as I said, we work through a system together. And if people are kind of coming in at month 3 and they're starting at step 1 and they have no idea what we're talking about, it's going to be just a little bit disruptive. We want to concentrate all our energy on our members. And that's why we only open 2 times a year. And right now we are open until the 23rd. You can go to the website, harpcircle.brightknowledgeguild.com, and you would be able to register there right now. There are a couple of options. You can register by the month, which is $50 per month, or you can join for the whole year, which is $500 a month, meaning you get 2 months free and you get a personal call with me. When you join at all, whatever level, you get a call from one of our community managers to just say hi, check in with you, and of course, an invitation to join our secret group, meaning that you will be able to follow up with us all the time. You know, our secret group runs constantly. And Sorsha, you said, I read that you were open in March. No, that is Virtual Harp Summit. Virtual Harp Summit happens in March. Although, newsflash, I might push it back to April, just to let you guys know. But definitely, it's definitely happening. It's just so many wonderful things are happening right now. that I want to embody more of a sense of ease. You know, in Bright Knowledge Harp Circle, one of our major themes is working with gentle energy. We believe in gentle power. We do not believe in forcing, in deadlines, in arbitrary rules. Instead, we believe that when you work from a space of openness, a space of ease, even greater things come in, even greater inspiration is allowed, greater insight comes in. At the end of the day, you end up with more rather than a forcing, do it now. You know, that's just not our vibe at all. So that's a reason why I want to sort of maybe put Virtual Harp Summit to April. So Source is saying, is there unlimited access available? To Bright Knowledge Harp Circle? Yes, as long as you're a member, you can access, you go through the system. So you start out with the first module. And so you learn that, and then you go to the second module, and of course you have access to all previous modules. So yes, you have ongoing access for as long as you are a member. And just, Sorsha, I know that you're also interested in Virtual Harp Summit. Yes, if you buy an all access pass, you have unlimited access to that particular summit for all time, or for as long as I'm around, or maybe longer. Maybe we'll find a way to let it run for all time. So Cheryl is asking, is the Middle Eastern technique an example of what would be expected with the Bright Knowledge program? Is it your music or my music? Great question. The Middle Eastern technique video that you saw on Bright Knowledge Guild is not what we do in Bright Knowledge Harp Circle. Bright Knowledge Harp Circle is entirely based on you, on what it is you want to do. So I do sometimes give examples of things on the fly, but only as a way that you would apply that approach to your music, if that makes sense. So this is 100% based on your purpose and what you want to do musically. So many harpists in there are doing things completely different than what I do. And it's fabulous. I love it. Because this system is very flexible. This is a system that is, you know, it goes beyond harp, honestly. It really would apply to all types of music making and honestly, a lot of creativity making. But yeah, Cheryl, this would be 100% focused on you. So yeah. Sorsha, you're welcome. I'm happy to have found you. Yeah, lovely. So again, yeah, we're about building skill and magic, but your skill and magic, not mine. Yeah. Thanks, Cheryl. That was I hadn't thought of that, actually, that it might seem that I'm teaching straight up musical techniques, and it's not quite that. Yeah. So guys, if you have any more questions for me, let me know. I'll be here for another couple minutes. And of course, if you think of any ideas, come back to this thread and ask me. I'd be happy to hear from you. Again, we're only open until January 23rd. And yeah, we would love to welcome you. I mean, we have just had such tremendous success. And if you go to the website, you will see that our members are speaking for themselves and saying what has happened for them, which I'm thrilled about, because one of my, as you know, my purpose is to come back to my true self and therefore encourage others to do the same. Well, this program does that. This program encourages you to come back to your true self and to play the music that you really want to play in the way that you want to play it, the way that you want to share it. You don't have to walk a beaten path. You may walk on your own path, and we will support you in that. I firmly believe there's enough room for everybody in this world musically, and further, that we actually need your voice. I really can't say enough about this. It's so strong for me. You were put here for a reason, and your voice is different than any other person on the planet. And we want to foster that. Now is the time to bring out our true voices. I believe when we connect with our true selves, it's always a good thing. Now I'm talking about our true selves. It's always a good thing. Something beautiful will come out. When you look inside, you will find something beautiful. I know it can seem frightening sometimes to look inside. It's like, oh, what if I discover this bad thing or that? You won't. Now, in terms of how we behave, sometimes we do things that we regret and we're like, but that's not our true selves. That's just a thing we did at that time. True self is much deeper than that. And so we're about accessing that true self, and that's where your real magic will come from, your real inspiration. So yeah, I love doing this. This is a real calling for me. So yeah. So you're welcome, Cheryl. So Bonnie is saying, oh, thank you. You are always such an inspirational presence. Thank you for that. And more. Additionally, the modules are all open and available while you're enrolled. For example, if one were to go on vacation, you wouldn't lose access to the current model. Absolutely. Yeah. Bonnie, so when we roll out the modules, how they happen is you get access to the first module and you work on that. And then you get access to the second module and you work on that. When you're ready, you don't have to, as soon as it opens, go there. So you build on your modules. So you can watch all previous modules as long as you are a member. And the reason that for the foundation that I release these modules just one by one is, again, we have a culture where we like to binge watch stuff. I'm just as bad, I remember binge watching House of Cards, and it doesn't help us when we do that. We really want to sit with our purpose for that month. And as I've said before, even though that may seem like a long time, members were wanting more time even to revel in this very, very precious moment. Many harpists go through their entire harping lives having never thought about their purpose ever. So to spend a month is a gorgeous luxury, I think, and a true pleasure. It sets you up for life. It really, really does. That purpose will see you through all the storms and all the sunshine. So we release the modules in a very, very gentle, calm way. And you always have access to the previous ones as well. Cool. So, yeah, Bonnie, it would be amazing to have you with us. I know you are just such a creative soul. Yeah, I had the pleasure of meeting Bonnie up in Canada for the Northern Lights Harp Festival. Great festival. I think it happens maybe every 2 years, if I'm right, up in Cornwall, Ontario. So, highly recommended festival. And if you don't have any more questions right now, again, the website is harpcircle.brightknowledgeguild.com. You can always come back later, ask more questions. You can always direct message me on Bright Knowledge Guild on our Facebook page, and numerous ways to get in touch. So I'm just so pleased to offer this right now. I feel like the circle really embodies this energy of gentleness and inspiration and understanding the true nature of creativity, understanding the true nature of accomplishment. So again, we have our skill and we have our magic. We bring it together and we work in a way that absolutely fits with real life. So we're not about deadlines. We're not about forcing. We're very careful within our group about creating a sanctuary, a safe space. A lot of my vision for our group has been that of a sanctuary. So we are very particular regarding how we just keep a very positive message going in there. Now, people may talk about, oh, I've got this struggle going on. There's nothing wrong with that. That's not negative. We get to then address the struggle, which is fabulous. We're always looking at a place of growth. That's a personal belief of mine, is that you can achieve whatever you want. It's just a question of knowing how to do it. And we always come from that mindset. You can always achieve what you want. But we're going to achieve it in a way of allowing, of inviting, of gentleness, respect, rather than forcing. So, yeah, we'd love to welcome you into the group. Thank you, Sorsha. The people of the planet needed these videos. Fair play to you for following your calling. Yeah, Sorsha, and I want everybody to be following their calling. I feel like it would be quite a world if we all followed our true calling. I feel it would be a world much more based on love, coming from the heart. And I think we're ready for that. And we can do this in a gentle, loving way. And that's what we're all about. So, yeah, Bright Knowledge Harp Circle, we are about helping you practice and perform better through skill and magic. So bye for now.